What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Filsinger Games Character Spotlight with Mike and Brock.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Brock, and tonight we'll be talking about two more classic characters from War Games 2093. We have US Patriot and Vanity. Two updates
Yep.
this week.
It's and they're both together because their paths intertwine.
Mm-hmm.
Because US
Over
Patriot
Sweet Thing.
stole Sweet Thing right out from underneath.
So if you ask me, US Patriot should be the heel in this storyline.
Yep.
That home wrecker.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
he was a bit of a home wrecker, but
Vanity wasn't the nicest guy.
No.
So I guess maybe there's that. One up their wiki pages here.
And if anybody hears me coughing, it's because I'm still fighting the COVID. I'm all free and clear of it. I just am stuck with a lingering cough right now.
That's the worst part of it.
Yep.
Is it just doesn't go away.
No. I hope everybody had a good Christmas.
Yeah, it was. Ours is always busy, which annoys me, but it wasn't too bad. It's too much on my kids. I think other people are starting to realize that.
And it's Boxing Day up here in Canada.
So explain Boxing Day to us.
It's more of a Commonwealth thing, so all the British colonies.
Okay.
So it's just kind of a day where you could, go to the stores, return gifts. Stores would have sales. It's kind of like your Black Friday, but ours is on December 26th.
Okay.
And it's much more calm. Everybody's just relaxed.
That's good. We need that. After
it's a big shopping day, but everybody's just chill.
That's cool. Yeah, like I said, I don't like Christmas just because of the pressure to make so many people happy and expensive ourselves. So a day like Boxing Day sounds refreshing to me.
Yep. We I returned one gift for someone and just exchanged it for them.
Mm-hmm. It's nice.
We picked up a couple things that we had wanted, but then you're just waiting for it to go on sale.
Yeah. See, I was always led to believe that everybody in Canada took down all their Christmas stuff on the 26th and put it away.
We usually don't take it down till New Year's Day.
Okay.
That's when a lot of people take their stuff down.
Yeah. We try and do that. It rarely happens, though.
But let's get underway with the Vanity.
Vanity. There he is.
Now, I like this drawing more than the first one.
Yeah. Looks more like that, like the Gorgeous George kind of Ric Flair vibe, even a little bit. Just kind of a coolness to him, I think, in this drawing.
Yeah. He did improve just a little bit.
Just a bit. Still not great, but definitely a bump up.
Yep.
My Vanity card's pretty beat up looking at it.
Vanity's one guy I would have liked to see, reach a higher level.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was such a neat, arrogant character.
Yeah.
But to have him not reach that level, he was like the Iron Mike Sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm the greatest. The Barry Horowitz, pat myself on the back.
Yeah.
And then never make it.
Yeah, looking at his card, he has a +2 finisher now if he has a valet at ringside.
Yep.
Lady's choice.
And he lasted for me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14 years.
Wow. That's pretty good.
Yep.
His official retirement date was 2109. So he hung around for a while. He had a 22-year career. Not bad. Officially.
Yeah, I know he comes back at some point.
Yeah, he goes to the CPC.
Yeah.
Yeah, he comes back in 2114. He doesn't get a new card, but he comes back in 2114. All those years later. That's funny.
He did capture my Galaxian title twice.
Okay.
I think both times was at this point with his new updated card.
Okay.
Because his first card just wasn't cutting it.
No. No, he was pretty weak that first time around. A little bit better this time around, but still not too powerful.
He ended up feuding 1, 2, 3, 4. For 6 years off and on Beast Rider / Terrak.
To me, they were always kind of linked, those two characters. Even though they kind of went their separate ways later on, they were always linked to me. It's one of those original 24 feuds that, just kind of made sense. Both lower level guys.
Oh, sorry, 7 years. He went 3-4 versus the Beast Rider / Terrak.
Cool.
So they were pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, yeah. Especially with this upgraded card. This is a Stud City card.
Yeah.
When you started teaming with Mr. Galaxy. A little later on.
Yeah, I enjoyed him. He was a fun guy. I think I used Stud City. I don't think they amounted to much.
They're one of my favorite lower level tag teams. I think I've talked about that when we had Mr. Galaxy as the card.
Yeah.
I like those low level tag teams because occasionally in a tag match you'll get a big win, just because the way tag matches work.
But if I would have had my tiered system, with my 3 feds back then, because right now I was only running the 1 fed.
Yeah.
They, even for my Intergalaxian titles, they weren't measuring up.
Mm-hmm.
At this point in time, it was like the Cosmic Forces and.
Yeah, you had some heavy hitter tag teams then.
Yeah. So they were there, and they were the mid card guys, but they did okay. But he was some guy I enjoyed using him.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I always liked that arrogant heel.
Yeah,
he was the best embodiment of that, really, at this point in the game.
He was the honky tonk man.
Yeah,
but Honky was a little better.
Yeah, he held titles for record amount of time and stuff like that.
Greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time.
Of all time, no dispute there.
They said growing up, I had 5 posters on my wall: Dr. Death, Steve Williams, Ric Flair, Bruiser Brody, the Road Warriors, and the Honky Tonk Man.
I'm surprised they even manufactured a Honky Tonk Man poster, if I'm being honest.
I can't even remember where I got it. But I saw it and I went, I got to have that poster.
Yeah, it had to be something like not licensed or something like that.
Oh, no, it was licensed. It
was
had the
it?
WWE.
Okay.
It actually had, I think I got it out of the, I bought it in a WWF magazine. And it was a fold-out poster.
Nice. That's awesome. I was always a Honky Tonk Man fan. They did him dirty to get the Intercontinental title on Warrior. 8 seconds.
But that was his idea.
I know.
How would you?
Isn't the story like he tried to do it to humble Ultimate Warrior a little bit? Like, hey, if this guy who's held the title this long is willing to do this for you, it wasn't that his justification for it?
I think if I can remember, when I was watching the interview, he just, one of the ideas was, he comes out and he beats him in, 5 to 8 minutes.
Hmm.
And Honky's like, what if he just beats me in like, you know, in like 9 seconds, like just shocks everyone. He goes, it
Yeah,
would put him over huge for his first title.
yeah. Honky's face whenever the music hits is one of my favorite things of all time. It's just when he turns, he spins around real fast.
Doesn't even get out of his jumpsuit.
Yeah, it's one of those classic moments. I love it.
How would you power creep?
He's got an 8-5 pin, which is pretty glaring.
Yeah.
I think I got to go with that. Drop that down to a 6-3.
What's his level 2 offense like?
He's got a fingernail scratch 1, atomic drop 2, eye gouge 2, falling knee smash choice A, vanity flip 3, stud stomp 3. So he's got 2 straight through level 3 moves. And his level 3 is he's got the choke on ropes 2 at number 1.
Yeah.
Then a karate kick 2 with a choice G, which is a death jump now. But he also has death jump on his card. So right now with the current charts, he'd have a double death jump, which is pretty brutal.
Choice G was always a death jump though.
Was it?
Yeah.
So he had a double death jump. Even then.
Yeah, he was a high flyer.
He's the highest flyer, the highest magnitude.
With his 0 Jody or -1 agility.
-1. Didn't say he was good at it, but
I think I might do the same thing and just reduce that 5.
yeah, because that's like if you get hit with a finisher, you're done. You're toast at that point.
Yeah, even a 2, you need an 8 to kick out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's asking for a lot. Other than that, his defense is decent.
Drop it to a 4 or something.
Yeah,
Even by 1, because you don't want to make it a 3 or something, which puts him in a different level of eliteness.
he's got to be elite.
The double death jump.
Yep, double death jump with a low pin. Watch out.
The +2 finish. Even Massive had a +2 finish.
Yeah, but Massive didn't need to have a valet distract anybody.
And Massive was almost as fast.
He was. It's funny.
Let's switch over to the US Patriot.
Here he is, former Atom Blast, US Patriot.
Or as I like to refer to him as Brian Bosworth.
I always thought that too. It looks just like him.
If any of you younger people don't know who Brian Bosworth is, played for the University of Oklahoma. He was a Sooner.
And then became one of the biggest busts.
After Bo Jackson ran him over. He was never the same.
Yep, the boss.
But he did some good stuff with me at this level.
Yeah, he got a significant upgrade.
He also captured my Galaxian title twice.
Nice.
At this level. And so this year he would have fought he came in 88, right?
Yes, I believe so.
And we're in 92?
93.
88. 90. Wow. Okay. So he was feuding the bounty hunter.
Ooh, wow.
And he beat him.
That's pretty impressive.
No kidding.
Bounty hunter's no joke. He was like the unofficial gladiator.
I think I had the gladiators feuding the FDF.
Okay.
Just to mix things up.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So yeah, he feuded the bounty hunter, and he beat him.
That's impressive.
No, I it's my Fed, and I'm shocked. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I'm now trying to rack my brain. I'm like, how did he beat the bounty hunter?
Was it with Vlad Hammer's help?
I honestly don't know. I'm thinking, what's he doing feuding the bounty hunter?
Yeah, that doesn't really add up.
It's kind of weird, but yeah, he beat him.
Good.
The following year, he wrestled the Soldier of Fortune and lost, so things went back to normal.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have thought he would have had a better shot against him, but yeah, the bounty hunter is one of the upper tier guys.
Yeah. And I think I gave that Fed that feud just to pump the bounty hunter up.
Yeah, and it backfired. Don't you love when that happens?
Yeah.
That's happened to me more times than I can remember. Let's just feed this guy. Nope.
Yeah. That's it. Let's feud bounty hunter versus US Patriot. You know, there was probably some backstory. This is going back 20 years, so I don't remember all my feuds.
You don't remember all that?
Actually, this is going back 30 years. So no, I don't remember a one-off feud with the bounty hunter.
Yeah.
But he beat him.
Showed him who's boss.
Then he lost to Soldier of Fortune, then lost to Matter, beat Dreadnought. And then he got upgraded again. So then it changes.
Mm-hmm. You got the cool Larry Snelly art.
Yep.
Yeah, this is our last Chuck Carter set.
Yep.
I think we might have mentioned that last week.
But I like Adam Blast. Always have.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the guys like Pulsar Prime.
Yeah.
You can see him. You know, his rise to stardom.
Mm-hmm. Which is cool. I like, because with the game happening in real time, it's kind of cool to see these younger guys become stars, and
yep.
In the reverse, the older guys kind of age out.
Sometimes it's years, sometimes it's 3 years.
But yeah, sometimes it's never. Yeah, I remember he was always just like the white meat baby face guy for me. Never really did anything that I can remember, but I ran that Vanity feud for a long time because Vanity was always one of my favorites.
He never feuded Vanity for me.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, never feuded him. Closest he came was Killer Queen.
Okay.
Because I remember I did have Killer Queen and Vanity team up sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And so they probably encountered each other in some tag matches, the odd singles match, but I never had them feud.
Okay. I don't know if there was really an official feud for them other than the debut year. They kind of went at it.
And I had him steal his girlfriend.
Yeah. He always reminded me of an American Gladiator too, the way he was dressed with the bodysuit and
Chuck
stuff.
Carter did it.
Yeah, makes sense.
He was Turbo or Nitro or
that kind of look.
Mix it in with little Brian Bosworth.
Yeah, because the mullet, there he is.
The old Tennessee waterfall.
Yeah, there he is.
And I'm trying to remember who he was teaming up with at this point.
Officially, it was Vlad Hammer. They were the Young Allies, and then they became the Freedom Fighters.
It might have been, but I can't. When he's shooting the bounty hunter, I can't see it happening.
Yeah.
I honestly do not remember. I'd have to dig back,
Hmm.
but I keep binders of all my old matches.
Yeah.
So I would honestly have to look back and go, oh.
Then it'll all come back to you.
So when we're done this, I'm gonna dig out my binders and go, who's
Yeah.
this? I am because in all honesty, I am thoroughly confused as how he feuded and shooting bounty hunter.
Something must have happened.
Yeah, because usually I'm pretty like I have my feud set for like
Hmm.
when I start, a year, at the end of the year, I have my feud set so I can work my storylines
Yeah. Yeah.
from A to B. I storyboard them.
Hmm.
And so I don't just throw random stuff together. So there had to be something there. So
Yes, something the dice chose for you.
yeah, I am thoroughly confused.
It's
The
all
bounty hunter
good.
might have actually left the gladiators at this point in time too.
Hmm. Yeah, he was probably gone by then because Spike was there and
Yeah, Spike.
Mayhem and all those.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. So bounty hunter was just off on his own. He probably hooked up with another group.
Hmm. Yeah, because
Might
you
have,
had more gladiators by that point.
yeah, he might have joined Thantos. That's what it might have been. But like I said, I'm gonna look it up because I'm confused here.
Yeah, it's all good. We can report on it next week.
So how would you power creep?
He has a C death jump rating. I think I'd make that a B. He's got a -3 agility. So
What's his finisher? He's got a double finisher at this point in time too, doesn't
yeah, he
he?
has the double freedom flyer. It's a 0. Still, it's a double. So that's pretty good.
And his pin's a 4,
Yep.
2 downs,
Hmm.
pin 2 downs.
Yep. So they're pretty much standard.
Yeah, he was a fairly solid. Like I think he got bumped up to a level 3 wrestler
Hmm.
for me. I
Yeah,
might
he's not
keep the
bad.
I might keep the C death jump, but I might upgrade one of those finishers to like the number 6 one to
Hmm.
a +1.
Okay. He started seeing that. That was more common.
Yeah. Well, he becomes a 0+2 finish after for his next
Hmm.
one, so this could just help that continuation.
Yeah. As the US Patriot.
Yeah. And then
And
I
then
know at
he,
some point he becomes a US trader and
what a jerk.
you know, Tom
USA.
watched, Tom watched too much Sergeant Slaughter.
It was bound to happen.
Yeah. My country.
Hmm. Yeah, he had a long career too.
Oh yeah.
He got at least 4 cards out of the deal. Some of these guys had long careers and never got upgraded
So our
or
topic
downgraded.
is supercards.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
So
We didn't
your
mention that at the top.
pay-per-views. And how do you come up with the names for them? Do you steal the names? Do you create your own names?
Um, I
And how, how,
have
many- how many do you run in a year? Like,
I would do a monthly one, which I think is too many, honestly. But yeah, I would do a monthly one because that's what I grew up with the WWF stuff. By the time, they were still quarterly, but then by my teenage years when I was playing this game, they were doing monthly. So I was kind of doing the same thing.
yeah, I run 6,
Okay.
and I run one called Battle of the Belts,
All right.
which is the heavyweight will fight the Intergalaxian.
Okay.
The GWF tag will fight the Intergalaxian tag. The TV champion would fight the Galaxian champion.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the only time I allowed title versus titles.
Okay.
And then I had
Were the titles on the line?
All the titles were on the line.
Okay, so you could have double champions and stuff.
All the I have one called Rage in the Cage,
Mm-hmm.
where name kind of says itself. Every match is a cage match.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of vary, but for the most part, they're just straight up cage matches.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a night to end feuds.
Okay.
Or to take the feuds to a higher level.
Okay.
I have one I called the Solarcade Cup. Now it's the Kraken Cup, and it's a tag tournament. Because this may sound weird, but Kraken was a 3-time winner of the tag tournament.
So it became named after him then. That makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, he won it with Genghis Khan, won it with Akuma, and then won it with Matador.
Nice. Yeah, he's earned it.
And then I have one I call Blood Bowl, which is I stole that name. I straight up stole that name
from the Blood Bowl game.
I call it Battle Bowl.
Okay.
And it's 32 random wrestlers get put into a tag tournament.
Nice.
And they wrestle through the tag tournament. And the winners get a shot at the title. But then right afterwards, I have a Royal Rumble type battle royal where the tag teams who entered starting at number, whoever had the fastest elimination start in the battle royal. And then, the second fastest elimination team from round one.
Okay.
So that they come down. So it's like a Royal Rumble, but 2 guys enter.
Okay.
And so sometimes the teams just didn't like each other and they duke it out.
And that's cool.
And then my first ever supercard was, I called it WrestleFest. And then I remember writing Mark Ashby. This is when we used to write people. And my cursive probably wasn't the greatest. And Mark's like, hey, I like that name, WrestleTest. And I'm like, that's not the name, but I like WrestleTest better than WrestleFest.
Yeah.
So WrestleTest is my oldest supercard, and it goes back to 87.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
And then I run at the end of every year, and I've done it for the last 3 years now. I run something called the Grand Championship.
Okay.
Massive tournament.
All right.
So I shut my feds down for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And they have a 132-man singles tournament and a 64-man tag tournament.
Nice.
And it's held over a 2-week period.
Uh-huh.
And so, at the end of the year, all the points are eliminated. Well, this is the way to start the points. But if you do well in the tournament, so now random guy, if you do well, so newcomers can suddenly, make a huge splash.
And
so that's why I do that one. I call it the Grand Championship.
Cool. In my bigger ones, I have stipulations where every match is some kind of specialty match of some kind. Then I have Fright Night around Halloween, where it's all like the most violent matches. Like they're all bloodbaths, stuff like that, first blood matches, casket matches, things like that. My end of the year one's called Out with a Bang. And that's where I would introduce the guys coming in from the next set. Like they would do like run-ins and stuff, post-match stuff, things like that, just to introduce the new characters. That was something I ran every year. And then the Gary Atkinson Memorial Tournament started. That's my April pay-per-view, where it's like a number 1 contenders tournament. It's the top 8 guys would fight in a tournament for the number 1 contender spot for the main title. I'm trying to think. My summer pay-per-view was called Dog Days, and the main event was always a dog collar match.
Oh, okay.
So to kind of tie in with that. Trying to think the other more clever ones. But those are the main ones. Like the other ones are just like your standard super card things.
Yeah.
November was my heroic gauntlet, where it's 10 guys and they're just straight one-on-one matches. And then the next guy and you'd have a one-on-one match of up through 10 guys. And then that guy would get the shot at the title at Out with a Bang at the end of the year. So like 2 months until that match happened.
Yeah. See, my
Drag it
NGA
out.
and CPC also have their super cards,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't remember what they all are because it's 18 different super cards.
Yeah, it's hard to keep it straight.
Plus my women's fed. But what I do with the women's fed is I did something completely different. Is at the end of the year I run a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
1 year I run a singles tournament. Next year I run a tag tournament. So their super card is singles tag, singles tag, singles tag.
Okay.
And so there's no super card. It's just these tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how that's what I do with them. And I got the idea. I got the names. I think Chris Sinclair and Ty States gave me the names.
Okay.
I need, what do you guys got for some names?
Mm-hmm.
And they
If you
helped.
ever need good help naming stuff, just throw it out in the community. Like people are always ready to help out with that stuff.
Yep.
They love naming stuff,
So
which is great because they
that's
come up with some
exactly
good
what I did.
ideas.
I'm like, hey
Yeah.
guys, anybody got? And Ty and Chris are both heavily into the women's indies stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, they would know for sure.
they did it. I'm like, and I all I said was I don't want anything starting with the word diva.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that that word's no longer associated with wrestling.
I didn't want any of that.
Yeah.
I do have a tag team called the Divas, but that's an entirely different thing.
That's different. Trying to think of some other ones had run in the past. Um, Nothing's popping into my head. I'll think of them all after we sign off.
Give me 1 second. I will grab my book.
All right.
You can I'll turn the lights up just a touch. Yeah, I got a Sputnik Monroe shirt for Christmas, as I'm brought
Nice.
earlier, but it's the bottom that I like. If you have to leave the ring, leave it tearing it down.
Yep.
That's something that's always bothered me when guys would have too much ego. They're like, I don't tear down the ring, dude. You're on the indie card. So my CPC, let's see, I have what's called the Colby Cup, which is of course Magnus Colby.
Uh-huh.
I do have a WrestleMania.
It's all good. I imagine WrestleMania will still be going 100 years from now.
Yeah. I have one called Blood Bowl. So I do have a Blood Bowl. It's in the CPC. It's a tag team tournament, but every round is a different gimmick match.
Okay.
So you work your way up to a cage match.
Cool.
And I have one called Star Brawl, which is just a super card. And then I have War Games, which is the because like a lot of people, I have teams,
Mm-hmm.
and I just have them elimination, like how the old War Games used to be.
Yeah.
But I don't have every team. I have like the top, 5
Hmm.
groups. And then I have Galaxy and Bash. And that is my because the CPC, sorry, the NGA and CPC run their feds together, run their supercards together.
Okay, makes sense. Smaller feds.
Oh no, they're both major feds. I just run them together because they work more or less in conjunction with each other than the other feds.
Hmm.
Here's something I also found. Look at this. The Galaxy
Nice,
Federation Fact Book 2001.
nice.
It kind of like predates the books that Stu Lowry edited.
Uh-huh.
So you have like tag teams above the law. Well, here's a segue. I did look it up. My feuds from 2093. Like I said,
Okay, there
I
you go.
keep everything.
There you go.
So Sam's Army, which was Massive, Pulsar Prime, and US Patriot, feuded the Workshop, which was Chopper, Matic, Cannibal, and the Bounty Hunter.
Okay. So he was with those guys.
Because I think that I had the Bounty Hunter the following year become the Doomsday looking guy.
Oh, Killing Machine.
Yeah. So I had him become, that's why I had him there. So that's how US Patriot ended up feuding the Bounty Hunter.
Cool.
I had him at the Workshop.
There you go.
And Massive and Pulsar Prime, which was my version of Power and Glory, and probably one of my greatest tag teams ever. And this is me doing, I also did War Games that year. So War Games was a big deal for me because if you lost, the managers got suspended for a year.
There you go.
So it was, well, the Gladiators beat the Anti-Men.
So no Amazonia.
You know, I had the Shogun Warriors, Akuma, Soy, Genghis Khan, and Mitsuko.
That's a good team. That's a fun team.
Yeah.
Team Earth. Team Time Travel.
Literally. Yeah, at some point I'm gonna put all my computer stuff on all my stuff onto the computer.
Hmm.
I'll have all my records.
There you go.
And here's something I could have shown from when Mark Ashby was on last week. If you're
Ooh,
listening to Uncharted Territory, they're talking about the COT Dream Federation, and there was the Supreme Court. No one knew who they were. Well, that was Rob Nadon and myself. But I had cards Mark gave me of the original judge and jury that they were using.
nice.
Now they broke some rules because no one knew.
Yeah. Yeah, those rules didn't become public until like well after the year 2000.
Yeah.
I remember when they published them originally.
So yeah, it was they there were a few rules that were broken, but
Everyone did then.
yeah.
Some on purpose.
Yeah. So it was kind of neat, every so often, I have a every last thing I ever did for the game, I keep,
That's good. I have it
including
all somewhere too. I remember those belts.
the original belts that Mark Ashby made. I think it was Mark.
I think so.
You could get them, he print, but you had to cut them out,
Hmm.
and people use double-sided tape to stick them. But yeah, I still got the original.
Those are cool.
And there were blank spots so you could write your titles' names. Because not everybody had the same titles, right?
Right.
But yeah, there were 2 tag teams, 2 singles, and 2 tag teams and 4 or 5 singles.
That's cool.
So always some fun stuff going back through that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, all my stuff's in multiple boxes in the attic. Every once in a while, I'll find something while looking for something else and get real excited and then stop looking for what I was looking for and spend hours digging through a box of old stuff. So much stuff I've accumulated over the years.
Oh, especially for this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you went to one of those early Galacticons, you were leaving with at least a box full of stuff.
And
People would bring up.
And you always had the Filsinger discount.
Yes.
Which was the greatest thing. And if anybody didn't know, if you showed up at a con, you got your sets for usually $10 cash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were heavily discounted because I remember my first con, I got years 2088 through 2107, which I think was released that day. And I don't remember what we paid for it, but it was a huge discount. Yeah. It was like, I think it's because we bought everything.
Yeah.
And that included all the classic sets and everything. He's like, I'm like, we just want to get caught up. And he's like, all right. And it was when Tom had everything in his house. So we're at the cookout. He just disappeared for like an hour and he comes out with his box of stuff and then quoted us a price. I don't remember what it was. It was 25 years ago or whatever it was, but it was awesome.
Paid for it.
Yes. I was like, oh yeah, we'll do that.
No, I remember the first con. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna finally buy my set because Rob and myself were sharing.
Mm-hmm.
And there was 3 sets out at that point.
Yeah. Not 20 like me.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, yeah, just $20 for those first 3 sets.
Yeah. Yep.
Really? He's like,
the Galacticon discounts were the best.
But he didn't know if there was going to be a Galacticon 2.
Right.
He was just going to make everyone happy. Like there was no convention fee or anything like that. It was.
Yeah. I think my first few cons were like $5 at the Sheldon House or something like that.
Yeah.
But I remember we expected something totally different from Galacticon because we always did like card shows and comic conventions and stuff like that. We expected it to be a lot bigger. So we had budgeted for a lot of spending money. So when there wasn't a lot to buy, I'm like, we just bought it all, all the official stuff right then and there, which was cool. And all the NGO sets that were available at that time, which I think was just one, and then a handful of extra cards here and there. I mean, no, the first set wasn't even there yet. It's just the individual cards for like El Pantero Negro, a couple other ones. Tex Remington was one of them.
Yeah, and I had my Circus of Terror or Sideshow.
Yeah, they were there. They were there at the time. And then it was the following year that the NGO set came out, and then a handbook for all the stuff that came out prior, which is neat.
Yeah, because that's when bootlegs really started to pick up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, you'd go to the con and there'd be 18 people selling 18 sets.
Yeah, yeah. It was a lot. And I would buy it all. I'd get every bit of it because I was hooked. I love bootlegs, though.
Yep. It's a dying thing, but...
It is. I try and keep it going, but...
Yeah, I enjoy a good bootleg, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree.
And, if they're usable, then I have no issues because a lot of times you can fill in spots.
Yeah, for sure.
So it works like that.
Yes, sir.
But we could probably wrap this up.
All right. It's fun talking about the supercards.
Yeah. Next week we finish off this set.
It's a big guy. Yes, Alpha Force.
The most, I would say, underachieving wrestler of all time. I think.
Yeah, he didn't do a thing. Well, I'll save it for next week.
Yeah.
Save it for next week. All right. Well, thank you for listening, everybody. If you have not yet, please hit that subscribe button. Help us out. We're well over our goal of 100. So shoot for 200 here in 2022, 2023. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Check out all the links below in the description from all our friends who are making Filsinger Games related content. We have some podcasts, including the official Filsinger Games podcast, Roll Up, the Legends Teams podcast, Uncharted Territory, Dizzy Dice from Lee Longpree, the Filsinger Games fan cast from Grant. And then over on YouTube, we have the solo promoter, also from Grant, Dave Little's Heartland Championship Wrestling, which he runs live on Saturdays and after further review. And then I have myself on Twitch, which I run Champions of the Galaxy on Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's a bootleg fed. And then we have all our social media content and stuff as well. And again, if you have Filsinger Games related content you'd like us to share, please drop us a line. We'll add it below with everything else. We'd be happy to share your content. And yeah, so we have Alpha Force next week. We're going to try and do some more Legends stuff here and there on the show.
Yep.
We might have a revolving guest host, recurring character on the show. We don't know who that is. Most people don't know who it is. But yeah, some stuff to look forward to here in the new year moving forward.
Yep.
So yeah, thanks again, everybody, for watching the show and for all the support. And we will see you next time.
Good night, everyone.
Later.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.